Okay, so this is video 2 of me still making anime recap content. So I just want to say, I really appreciate you guys, man. We got a couple new people here. 5 of you guys decided to stick around from the last video, which is really cool. And then I think it was 3 or 4 of you guys left some nice comments. So, hey, I really do appreciate that, man. So if you're new here, my name is Marvin. I like making these anime recap contents at the moment, and I hope this sticks around for a little while. So let's go ahead and get started with this video today. So the other day I was scrolling on YouTube. You know how you just go into a little mood and you're just going through YouTube over and over looking for a new anime, and then you happen to stumble across a fight scene that's obviously going to ruin the anime a little bit for you, but you go ahead and watch it anyway. That's kind of what happened for me the other day, man. So I ended up seeing this fight scene of this samurai dude and this other guy that looks like a butcher, right? Find out the name is Hawk versus Goemon, or Goemon, G-A-E-M-O-N. So I'm seeing this fight scene, and Buddy gets his arm meat shaved off while he's fighting the big brute guy. And that's how the video pretty much opened up. So as soon as I seen that, I'm like, okay, there's a lot more to this story. There got to be a backstory, and there got to be a lot more to it. I had to dig deep. So I look into it. I'm like, samurai guy versus butcher swordsman anime, you know? Type that in there. And then I find a video that's about 13 minutes long, and then it gives me a little bit more substance to this whole fight scene. You see the Yakuza involved, like dudes are throwing chains around people's necks and ripping them back and everything, and you're like, this anime gotta be freaking gold. The backstory about this fight is basically the Yakuza's pops, or the head of the Yakuza, got killed by the brute, which is the blonde-haired guy that has grills for teeth. From there, it looks like Goemon was working with the Yakuza, and he wanted to get revenge for the killing of the father, who was the head of the Yakuza, right? But that's pretty much all I know about that part. So I don't really know if he actually wanted the revenge because of the pops died, or he saw that somebody was actually better than him. And you know how samurais get, when they see somebody who's a worthy opponent, they want to go out there and, you know, show that they're more worthy than the opponent that they think they're more worthy than, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. But the other thing about this whole fight was that Hawk, I think he was more so on a side quest, and then when the Yakuza dad died, it was more so like almost an accident, I think, or I don't know if it was like a part of the fight or part of the whole scene, but I think he just died because he was in the way, basically. Like, he happened to be in the way of his actual mission, and then he just killed him too. And Hawk's actual mission was capturing Lupin, which I find out is actually the name of the anime, Lupin the Third. Now, before I get into the actual anime, I don't really know too much about Lupin. I just know that he's some wanted guy and a lot of people want him for some reason. So before this whole fight between Hawk versus Goemon takes place, Hawk meets Goemon in a sense where Goemon's trying to defend the people he's around, the Yakuza, I believe, and then Hawk is basically just barreling him down. He's just beating him senseless damn near. And he's not even trying. He's just getting in the way, and Hawk just keeps knocking him out the damn way almost. And like I said, this is all because Hawk is actually after a dude named Lupin, and I believe somehow Lupin knows Goemon as well. Who's the samurai? I'm not too sure. But the anime gets to a point where Goemon is getting beat so bad that he almost wants to go train. So Buddy starts training. He's in the middle of the ocean, it looks like. He's on like a rock doing like the whole samurai thing. He's trying to like practice, but he's still getting his ass kind of beat. He's still not really hitting the marks that he needs to hit in order to beat this guy named Hawk. So Goemon ends up training for such a hard time and so long, it seems like, because remember, I don't know if this is the full fight. They have to cut it up because it is on YouTube. But he's training for so long that he ends up almost giving up. He goes back to the Yakuza. The Yakuza are at the funeral now. It looks like he's coming back. They kick him on the ground. They kick the samurai dude who's damn near prestige, and then he gets kicked on the ground, and he feels like crap. But as he gets kicked on the ground, he gets his little awakening. This thing, I believe, is called his sixth sense, comes around, and then he's able to start chopping dudes up like Goku on Ultra Instinct. When Goemon realizes he has his sixth sense now, I think he wants to put it to the test. He didn't like that the Yakuza pretty much disrespected him like that, kicking him on the ground. So he basically told them, move one more finger, and I'm about to chop you up. And of course, the Yakuza being the Yakuza, what do? They move that finger. And of course, what happens? They get chopped up. So Goemon gets a good practice in with like about 13 members of the Yakuza chopping him up back to back. He's going crazy with his sword. He's realizing that he actually has his down pat. And then he gets to the point where, you know what? I gotta go find my arch nemesis, Hawk. And of course, like I said, Hawk, he's on his mission to find Lupin. So he's already after Lupin, which he knows he's going to be after Lupin. So where does Goemon go? He goes find Lupin. So Lupin and his subordinates is getting pursued by Hawk, and Hawk is like pretty much busting him out of a car. I can't tell if he was helping him or he was actually trying to kill him while they're in the car, but he started going crazy on the back windshield. As this is going down, Goemon enters the scene. He's ready to go ahead and put his sixth sense to the test with Hawk, and then they start going to the duel. So before this, Goemon wasn't able to hit anything on Hawk. He pulls out a sword, swipes it out, and guess what he does? He makes a little cut on Hawk's finger. Hawk, of course, you know, always winning 9 times out of 10. He doesn't really see his blood too often, so he's like, oh wow, you actually got me. The first time you actually was able to land a hit. Congratulations. And then he's talking to Goemon, talking about, I'm surprised you're so calm in the face of death. You know, talking big talk. Goemon's like, you don't even know about my sixth sense. So he's not even really saying nothing. He's all about his precision, about his calmness, being a samurai. Now they're going at it back to back, throwing swords, throwing his cleavers around. Goemon ends up slicing one of his cleavers in half, cutting the thing in half. And then Hawk is, you know, not really noticing it too much because he's still like, I'm a brute. I'm gonna throw down even if I don't have a cleaver. And he's going back to back, just trying to slice off his arm meat. I don't know why he's going after his arm and maybe trying to kill him, but every single time he's getting a close call by getting his arm meat shaved off instead of his body. So of course, once again, this whole fight is on YouTube and they don't play the whole fight, but we get to the end of the fight where I think Goemon realizes that he's gonna have to lose some skin in the game, literally. So Hawk, he throws down his right cleaver, shaves off his whole shoulder all the way down to the elbow, and Goemon does one of the swiftest samurai sword cuts he's ever done in his life, where Hawk doesn't even realize that his arm has been cut off. Now, of course, Hawk sees that he landed a hit, so he's like, haha, I got you. But Goemon's there still chilling, even though his arm meat is falling off. And he's like, and he's not even saying anything. He's not phased at all. Of course, 2 to 3 seconds pass. Hawk realizes his arm actually has been cut in half, and then he stands up. He's like, well, I guess you got me. And of course, Hawk being the brute he is, he's going to continue to fight. He doesn't care he's missing one arm. He's going to keep going. But then just as he's about to keep going, he realizes with Goemon's sixth sense, he somehow transferred it to Hawk, seeing that his life is about to flash before his eyes. So he sees in the future somehow that if he were to make this move that he wanted to make, Goemon was about to behead him just as he did his arm with a clean, swift cut. Once he's seen that possible outcome, he was like, you got me, I lost. He sparks a cigar, he dips off, and he's like, I'm gonna call it a day because I want to live to fight another day. And he walks away with his one arm. Now, of course, you know, being anybody that's just seen this type of fight scene, you got to find out what kind of anime this is. And like I said earlier, it was actually called Lupin the Third. Now, of course, I'm not someone that's going to jump in from exactly that scene and continue the anime from there. I got to watch it from the very beginning. So I go ahead and go to Crunchyroll. I type in Lupin the Third. I click on the first episode. And what do I see? I see a boxed out cut, 9:9 aspect ratio, gritty 90s anime. And I start getting discouraged because I'm like, oh, this can't be good. But then I remember the fight scene, and then I also remember, hey, bro, 9 times out of 10, the best animes were in the 90s. That's where they show all the blood, the gruesomeness. And I'm not saying that's what makes a good anime, but they were more detailed in their character development, their art style, and the story development. And that's where the real animes came out. So I decided to give it a go, man, and that's where I currently am. I'm on episode 2 at this point. The first episode was pretty decent. Of course, the first episode normally starts out dry, unless it's done to done. But the first episode kind of started out dry, and I'm down to see the next. I'm gonna continue it, but that's pretty much it for this one, man. I don't really know what else to say from here. But if I were you like 90s anime, or you like good anime with mad story and deep storytelling and character development, I'd go ahead and watch Lupin the Third. I hear it's pretty good, and from what I've seen, it looks pretty excellent so far. So I'm gonna keep on going with it, man. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and of course, I'm gonna see you in the next video recapping another anime that I've come across. Peace.